Deeply Awake, Entangled, Wind, Revisited, The Council of the Twelve, May 11, 2014, by Kathy Vick, at kathyvick.com, MacArthur at lightworkers.org, Deeply Awake at Tumblr. We have but a short message for our dear readers this evening, and of course this channel. Coming to you, through you, all around you now is a wind. We have talked of wind before, and we wish to discuss this topic to illustrate a mechanism which is leading, and will lead, many to peace. Have you noticed, dear ones, that in a strong wind, one must hang on to that which they do not want to lose? Deliberately, that which one does not want to forfeit, one brings closer to self, hangs on to, holds for dear life. It is a natural response to a strong wind. One does not want one's hat to blow away, nor cash, nor anything which is essential for safety, comfort and well-being. We tell you that there are winds blowing, and their origins are as timeless as time itself, as ancient as the first breath realized by corporeal form, unfathomable to linear mind, boggling, we would say, is the antiquity of the wind whipping through things now. We do not wish to imply that this wind is destructive, for that is precisely what it is not, and this bears amplification. How is it that you just know, reacting reflexively, in fact, when in a position where choice must be made, what you have to have, what you cannot lose, what you will not lose, and do not? What is it which directs you in an emergency, a fire or a strong wind, perhaps? How do you know what to keep, what to hold on to, and that which is, in the end, replaceable, perhaps even disposable, it would seem, during this windstorm? We ask that you think on this, going past looking at the objects grasped tightly to your chests, but truly, deeply observe these items, in this moment, in your arms. What is it that you hold? And what moved you to choose these items rather than others? Thought, habitual thought, can be considered an item, in energetic terms, far more valuable than any object you might acquire, love, own. These thoughts blend with and create feeling states, lifestyles, choices. So, we ask, what thoughts are you thinking as you clasp, and they blessings, at your bosom? Are you thinking only about the pain from a wind or fire, perhaps, or how you would prefer not to die, perhaps? Perhaps you are excited, enthralled, aware there is something new happening, something novel, a breath of fresh air, whistling as it grabs and flickers much from many, in this wind, most remaining ever mindful of the things in their full arms now, all holding fast to their remaining attachments. The remaining attachments, you see. We tell you these things to remind you that, to many, this gale force wind is something you have it is a metaphor, wind, is it not? And perhaps its usefulness has run its course, but we ask you to stay a little longer with the thought of what it is you most cherish, would insist on having ride with you if all else fell away this very day. Whether pleasurable or a burden to you, we tell you that which you hold are your remaining attachments. Attachments. Not only have many of you begun to experience the minimalism inherent in windsurfing, but you do indeed bring a puff of this unusual breeze with you, wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever is said, thought, felt or intended. This you may now become aware of, as you converse, as you intuit, as you walk, as you laugh. Many are gaining skill at a balanced way, one which blends pragmatism and creative, effective problem-solving, and are adding more laughter, mirth, simplicity, friendliness, although it may be feared that you and you alone are noticing a different, higher tone to all you know. We assure you, you are not alone. What you read now are but writings of one of the most verbal of the lot, so to speak, as she sits compelled to allow description, deeper description, of what is at hand. We would like to say now. This wind which we have discussed today, and may in future, do you recall? We told you that one of its effects, dear loves, is that the walls of your house, your metaphoric house, became translucent, sheltered and comfortable now always. You would never again be without access, real access, to that which is around you. We told you this wind rearranged the belongings of your house, restructured that which you had ever so consciously chosen to keep in your house, and we told you that the objects in your house had taken on a new quality, in that, if you cared to see them, they would present, and if you chose not to see them, they would be invisible, as you wish, but always present, always felt, always known and cherished, that which remained. we attempted to explain how much fun you could have in a house such as this. And do you recall what we said about when the wind first came? We said, and we repeat lovingly to you now, there are many who, when the wind comes, find themselves in shelter, you see, unaware that a storm is raging, safe, comfortable, unaffected, in company, we say now, and there are those who have been caught in the storm, unprepared and feeling picked on, frightened and frantic, unable to do anything except that which fear dictates. Survival becomes the only thing which makes sense, the only focus, and the fear is consuming, is it not? And then, do you remember now, our loved ones, do you remember how we wanted to focus our love and attention upon a group of souls who, before the wind came, while the earth and sky were still and silent, these souls rose, left their beds, their homes, their loved ones, all they had known, and, one by one, they gathered on hillsides, stripping as they walked, walking the grids as they once had, knowing where to go without understanding any of it, and there they stood, naked, alone, arms out and smiling, these few who know of the wind. Who sensed it coming, who knew how to shelter themselves from the inside out. They have known this windstorm, this landfall, and know what the wind was saying, is saying to you, even now. We chose to give you this again because it is an apt and true metaphor. This is a planet of free choice, all are in agreement, all is in alignment, all is perfectly in order, and the roles each of you play, as fascinating and integral as they each are to the overall project, can you not see the beauty of a system which allows all their own way, in shelter, in fear, in nakedness? Some have noted a high wind, a clarifying one, which is here, as expected, right on time, shall we say, which is assisting many in manifestations of potentials, and by this we get to the heart of it by saying, it is not so much manifesting now, loved ones all, as much as it is cooperating, melding, participating, stating intent, and knowing it is so. Knowing it is so. Knowing it is so, you are only now able to glimpse at the enormity of the power in your fingertips, in your hearts, dear reader, in your hearts, and that is the wind which you carry with you now. It is not a wind which harms, but it, by its nature, assists all to see more clearly, to notice, that which they are grasping, what they think of what they are grasping, and how they feel about the whole thing. Does this not allow you the softness of countenance so many are seeing birthed in their demeanor and countenance? You who stood exposed, determined, and right on time, you who know the alchemy and power of Gaia, your intent, and the all, from that mighty wind, you carry a signature which is felt, at a deeper level than you understand or can be languaged. Surely this is but speaking that which has been gnawing at you. Allow the beauty of this cooperative system of love fill you with peace, a peace which has, at its core what you already know, all is well, you are love itself, and, once in a while, a little wind can be refreshing. Do not, we caution to end, do not please think or assume that this signature many now carry, this wind which heralds your arrival and lingers after you have parted, do not think this wind is unwelcome by others. This is the paradox, you see. It can be sensed, intuited, from any distance, as this concept is irrelevant here. Your essence is felt by others, as surely as their essence is felt by you, do you see? Your effect is indeed under your control, but only to a degree. We ask you to understand that this current recalibration is cooperative, requested, and constructive. We used metaphors of wind in showing the channel how reality, before and after, might seem. Scale, proportion, was bizarre, in the new land, and all of it glowed with love. It was already built, a world so vibrant, abundant, beautiful, easy, lovely, and it was after the windstorm with sound that the scribe saw that it had been it had been all of you, who had been so intently focused, you had failed to grasp what it was you had been working on, what had engrossed you. After the sandstorm, the new structures, the new world, stood, and we well recall a single defining sensation given and received during this transmission. The feeling was all at the benevolence. All at the benevolence. All at the benevolence. The signature is a fine one to hold, one which you may temper, soften, play with, but one which you no longer have conscious willingness to stop. You may do so, and it will be very uncomfortable, and then you will stop resistance. That is the progression. We love you and wish for you to know that all is well. We ask for you to carry with you from here the image of the eye in the storm. Imagine, please, the potential, the raw power, the ultimate stillness, and the grand and true and esoteric suspension of time which occurs within the eye. Allow this beingness to merge, and allow this to be transmitted. We remind you of old transmissions to amplify and remind, as we restore and rebalance. It is time. It need not be verbal. It need not be conscious. Engage in all manner of enjoyable activities. Dance, we say, and laugh and sing. There is nothing to fear now, and this wind proves it, for it is benevolence itself, it is permission itself, it is the all, the spin, source. Peace this day and in all days. Selah.